What's going on, my Flabby family? It's your boy Izzy. Welcome if you're new. First take ended up getting a little feisty, if you will. It wasn't necessarily crazy, but they were getting a little back and forth going about the CBA and Olivia Miles not actually declaring to go into the WNBA just yet. We're about to get all the way into it, but before we do that, y'all make sure y'all hit the thumbs up for your boy if you like the content. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 19.7, so if you can help me out with that, I highly appreciate it. And don't forget to get in the comment section and let me know what y'all think about this. Let's get it.
And so when you think, damn right, and I'm going to. Here's the deal. Olivia Miles, let's understand what's going on. This is about money, Janae. Now, she had a career year averaging over 15 points, shoot 48% from the field and all this other stuff. We got to look at two things. We got to look at the money that Shannon brought up in NIL compared to what's existing in the WNBA. And we also got to look at Notre Dame and what's going on there that you can't get what you want from that school, from that institution. What's the problem there? You're producing for them. You're a commodity and an asset to them. Why do you have to entertain departing for another school or the WNBA when you consider what Notre Dame has the ability to offer? So that's a different subject for another day. Let me throw out these numbers to you, Janae. Caitlin Clark last year made $76,535 in the first year of her contract.
Wait, say that again. How much?
$76,535. Obviously, she made considerably more off the court. But this is on the court, her WNBA obligation.
Yeah, I'm listening.
WNBA Players Association chose to opt out of their current collective bargaining agreement at the end of the 2025 season. Lottery picks in 2025 will make $78,831 in their first season, $348,198 over the course of their 4-year deal. But once the new CBA is scheduled to kick in 2026, there's exponentially more dollars projected to be available to her. So she could, as Shannon pointed out, be looking to go back to college with an NIL deal that's going to get her more money, wait to go into the WNBA draft, and position herself to sign for exponentially more than she would be able to if she entered this WNBA draft.
I appreciate those numbers. They're illuminating. What I want to know is the percentage based on the league's revenue. That's what we need to get. I'd like to know the comparison between the NBA, what they're bringing in, and the players.
Let me tell you why
that percentage versus the WNBA, the league's taking in.
Let me tell y'all why. Hold on, Jenny. I'm going to come to you. Let me tell y'all why y'all need to stop that. We're going to be honest on this show.
Why?
The fact of the matter is, stop comparing yourself to the NBA because the NBA makes exponentially more. So because it was a combination of two things. Number one is the money that they make. And number two is the position that you're in from a collective bargaining perspective to ask yourself how much credit do you deserve. The product for the WNBA has been fabulous. It's been absolutely outstanding. I'm not trying to compromise or throw any shade on that whatsoever. But for years, what the WNBA has proclaimed is that there's a lot of things that we were doing that was losing us money. And so now that we're making a little bit of money, all of a sudden, we're not going to be in a position as of yet to give you. Now, that's not an argument I'm buying. The WNBA players deserve their dollars. They need to go and get it. But until you do, there's going to be more Olivia Miles.
I mean this with all due respect, Stephen A. Chiney, I need you to womansplain to him, please, what I was trying to say right there.
I'm talking about, I need you to womansplain. I mean, come on, bro. there's no womansplain in this situation. But Olivia Miles leaving, that's another crazy topic that I might make a video on today. But let's stick to this one. With my whole research and what I've been peeping with this situation is that the NBA has it set up to where no matter if they make a profit or the league makes a profit, the team makes a profit, whether they do that or not, the NBA players receive revenue. Now, it seems that the WNBA failed to negotiate this type of agreement with the organization and the players. So now they're kind of getting messed over because of that. Now, although they didn't negotiate that, they still get 9.3% of revenue of everything that comes into the league. But the problem with that is, out of the 100% of revenue that comes to the WNBA, 42% of that is shared with the NBA. They're not their own entity like that. They're really attached to the NBA. So 42% goes to the NBA. And then 15.8%, if I'm not mistaken, goes to individual investors that actually help the league survive as well during a tough time. It's just two entirely different situations. And although they have it set up to where if the team or the organization don't make a profit, they still get their share of the revenue. They're making a profit. So you can't really ignore that part. They made 11.4 or 11.3 billion last year in the positives, okay? Whereas to the WNBA lost 40 million. The league and the owners, they're going to use this type of information against them to not give them certain things or give them exactly what they want. I do think they're going to get money. I think they're going to get a raise. I think they're going to see facilities and more staff members. I think they'll be taken care of better. But they're not going to see exactly everything that they're asking for.
Yeah, first of all, Stephen A., money matters, and I totally understand that, but it's not everything when it comes to players' decision-making. And when you're talking about Notre Dame, why would they not be able to retain Olivia Miles? A lot of it is a basketball argument. She wants to go and be a primary option, and she can also make money elsewhere. So it's a two-part type of answer, not just, oh, they should be able to throw as much money and cash at her so she stays. That's not how it works. You see other people leave the transfer portal, enter the transfer portal because they want to have the opportunity to be the alpha, to be the top dog, especially. And then also when it comes to the W, I think some of these arguments are a little played out with like, oh, well, the W's not making money or these players aren't making enough. Here's Caitlin Clark's salary when it comes to X, Y, or Z. To me, what we should be focusing on is what you listed at the end. The CBA, because there's going to be an opportunity. It's not just Olivia Miles that's making this decision because she's going to make more. If you look at most of the players in the current WNBA, their contracts, they're mostly on one-year deals because they all want to tap into the CBA money. So I think it's two-part.
All right, hold on. Number one, it is two-part. I was getting on you for only mentioning the one part. I wasn't saying that you were wrong for mentioning the one part. I was saying there was another part to it, so since you didn't mention it, I added it. That's number one. Number two, I'm not against the WNBA players. I think they should get paid. I want them to get paid. But you know good and damn well, when that collective bargaining negotiation comes up, that tired old argument that you just alluded to is exactly what they're going to bring to the negotiating table.
No, it's not. It's not.
When you're negotiating?
Yeah, when they're negotiating, they're looking at the revenue metrics, they're looking at the viewership, they're looking at the attendance, they're looking at the merchandising, and they want to collaborate with the league. And the reason why I know this is I used to be on the WNBA Players Association, and my sister's the president. So, I know what their vision is. They're not using those tired or old arguments. They want to work hand in hand with the league so that they can continue to grow.
Got it. Appreciate your sister being in that position. Appreciate you knowing what you're knowing. I'm just some old dude that's been covering collective bargaining negotiations for 30 years, and I have never been a part of the negotiation, Shannon, ever in my life, nor have I seen a negotiation ever in my life when somebody comes to the negotiating table asking for what they believe that they deserve, and the other side, as reprehensible, as foolish, as non-substantive as that argument may be, will not try to throw something into the negotiations to justify not giving you what you deserve. Correct. That's all I was saying. That's all I was saying.
Yeah, they're going
to I've never been a part of a negotiation that was different, ever.
But I have, and they're going to push back. Yeah, I mean, I was on the executive committee. I was vice president of the WNBA while I was in the league.
No, I'm saying, really, you've been a part of the negotiation where somebody just said to you, you're absolutely right, we think you deserve what you're asking for?
No. It's a give and take. We all know that. But what I'm saying is the argument saying that, revenue is a goal, but it's not the only thing. Like what we used to call them are buckets. They're buckets where we try to help, players' well-being while they're playing. We've already seen advances when it comes to charters. We've already seen advances when it comes to facilities. So the standard keeps going up and up, but we're not just saying salary is the only thing that moves us forward. It's a negotiation, but it's also, more importantly, a collaboration.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope they don't strike. Shanae, I hope you guys continue on this momentum. The last thing you guys need to do is not to strike and have this WNBA, because I'm afraid if they leave, they might not come back, Shanae. So hopefully you guys can get something worked out. I hope you guys can get something worked out that's satisfactory, because in the negotiations, Stephen, you know how this works, and you and I have been in a lot of them. Hey, everybody got to feel like they've been had. Right. Because if you don't, you're going to become resentful. If you feel that you've given up more, you're going to become resentful, and that's the last thing you want considering that this deal's probably going to be, Shanae, I'm assuming, somewhere between 5 and 10 years because you want that kind of prosperity and not have to worry about this every 2 to 3 years.
We don't want the W to lose the momentum at all whatsoever. Shanae, let me just say one thing real quick. Hold on, and I'll let you finish. But to Stephen A., I just want to push back on something you said earlier really quick about the percentages. I'm not following. So say, just making it up, say the NBA brings in X amount of money and the players, their salaries are 2% of those earnings. Why should it not be the same math for the WNBA?
Why Molly couldn't just stay quiet and allow Shanae to say what she needed to say? We need the information from Shanae. Like I stated before, these are two totally different situations. The NBA gets the 100% and that's it. They're not necessarily paying a WNBA and then a third party. No, they get that whole 100 versus the WNBA getting only 42% of that 100%. They give 42 to the NBA and 15 to these private investors or individual investors over here. So it's two totally different situations, which is why they can't necessarily see the same amount of money in revenue terms that the NBA players are seeing.
I'm not saying that it shouldn't be the same amount for the WNBA. I'm saying that the WNBA, at least reportedly, would try to make the argument that they're not making as much money as people realize, and there were sacrifices that they had to endure over the years that the NBA wouldn't dare try to argue at this particular moment in time. So because of that, that would be a negotiation tactic on their part. But Shanae is saying that's not a negotiation tactic that they would try. And I'm saying we shall see, because anytime it comes to negotiation, people try to get over.
Yeah, but
that's just the way that it is.
You know the phrase, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. If you look at the numbers from this past season, like you said, Shannon, I want to put out a little bit of the misinformation, right? The goal is not to have a work stoppage. Everyone wants to capitalize on what we've built the last few years.
You should.
So they have a mutual goal, but the numbers have indicated that the numbers are doing the talking for the players, and I think the league knows it.
All right.
They know it, and they know they got to give more. And
really
they will give more.
Conversation.
Will they give you what you deserve?
Well, I see you in Tampa.
I don't think the players nor the owners want them to have a sit out or anything like that. Now, we all understand where the viewership, the attendance and stuff. Well, attendance you can actually give to different teams. I would say Aces and Liberty being the main ones that had a high attendance. But the viewership, the average viewership for all the other teams was 300,000. At that negotiation table, I do feel like they're going to use the fact that they lost $40 million last year against them. And then also that 15% of individual investors that they have to answer for. They're going to use that against them too. But at the end of the day, I hope they work it out. Just wanted to share this information with you all. Y'all let me know in the comment section. How do y'all feel about what Shanae was saying, Stephen A., Molly? Who was y'all feeling was right in this conversation? Do you understand this situation a tad bit more after their conversation here with Shanae? Let me know in the comment section. I love y'all. Y'all keep it smooth.